Yo, what is good, YouTube? I am Richie Kim and welcome back to another video on Richie Revs. It's been a while since I made another video. I've just, kind of been doing my own thing. A lot of stuff that's obviously like not car related. I don't know, it's just like I don't really have like too much content to produce with like either of the cars at the moment. So I'm just kind of, making videos when I can, whenever I feel like there's a topic to discuss. But yeah, I mean, that brings me to what we're going to be talking about today is, we've had this car, me and my wife, we've had this car for 2.5 years now, almost 25,000 miles. So I feel like it's time to do another review on the car. I feel like the last time I did this was probably maybe like at the 1 year mark, maybe a little bit after the 1 year mark. But yeah, I mean, 2.5 years going strong now, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who are wondering, what an ownership is like, whether these cars are reliable or not. It's just like, I'm sure there's people who have questions about the car. So yeah, I mean, almost 25,000 miles in, how has it been? Honestly, this has been an extremely reliable car, an extremely fun car. Obviously, there's differences, when you compare this to the G80. It's obviously just two different types of vehicles, right? Like, they are so different. But I will say, fun factor is still here for this car. Like, this is an extremely fun car to drive. People, talk shit all the time. They always, talk shit on front wheel drive cars or just Hyundai in general. But I can say, like, even though I have a G80, this car is still really fun, in its own way. Obviously it lacks the power, right? But for basically a third of the price of a G80, you're getting a lot of car for the money. I mean, what the direct competitors with this car, like the GR Corolla, the Type R, and those are easily like $10,000 more than this, and that's a pretty big price difference. Basically 25% of a 25% difference between the retail prices of those cars, or a third of this car. So yeah, it's a pretty big price difference, and for that money you're getting one hell of a car. So yeah, I mean, in terms of this particular car, like, what's been good, what's not been good, and honestly, like, I can only say that there are a couple things that aren't, I guess, the best with this car. And some of you have already might have seen like my previous video or review of this car where I talk about like the cons of the car, and I would still say pretty much like those still exist, right? Like, those have not changed at all, and they're kind of nitpicky problems. Like, for the most part, I know some people wouldn't have issues with it, but me being just how I am, I'm super OCD. I do have issues with it, one of which is like the interior rattle. So I think when it comes to the build quality of this car, overall it is solid. There are just things that creak and rattle in this car in like random places. There has been like a slight creak and rattle coming from like this mirror spot, or like the mirror on the front windshield over here. There's like a small creak and rattle coming from like the seatbelt holder, or maybe like the B pillar over on the passenger side of the car. And it's just like these random sporadic like creaks and rattles, and obviously that's not like an actual like issue. It's not gonna like hurt the car or anything, right? It doesn't mean your car is falling apart, but obviously, if you're paying like, I mean, let's be real, like $30,000 is not that expensive of a car. So would I have liked to not hear the rattles and stuff? Of course, but is it to be expected? I mean, maybe. Like, I don't know. I feel like there are definitely cars in this price range that don't have that issue. So maybe it's just a Hyundai thing, or who knows what it is. But yeah, those issues still persist. So, it is what it is. But those are very minor, right? Another issue, I had a video, maybe a whole video, if not, I definitely mentioned this before, is the rattling noise coming from the engine bay, which is actually coming from just the turbo heat shield. And I don't know why, you know, it's still there. The Hyundai dealerships have not addressed that it's an issue. They all say that like it's not a problem. And in terms of the actual like engine and stuff, yeah, it's not a problem. It's not causing any problems or anything like that. It's just a noise that just gets annoying sometimes, and it's very, very rare that it does happen. I kind of notice it more when, you know, the car has been, I guess, like driven a little bit harder, and it just gets like really hot. And I don't know why it happens. Maybe like the areas around where the heat shield is like screwed in, it like expands a little bit, so there's a little bit of play in there and it starts to wiggle, and maybe that's what's causing it. But honestly, I have not a clue like what is the actual issue. But yeah, it's not an actual problem, so it's something that we deal with, and you kind of forget about it sometimes. But obviously, you know, there are days where it can get pretty bad, especially like, you know, if I go up in the canyons and I come back, I'll hear it come around like what, 3 or 4K RPMs in the lower gears, and then, you know, once you're cruising, you don't hear it anymore. So it really is just a noise issue, and it doesn't happen that often. So yeah, I mean, there's that too. Besides that though, we've had a blast with this car. Wifey definitely drives it more than I do, especially now since I have my G80. But when I do get a chance to drive this, it is fun. Like, still has great power, still very responsive. Haven't had any actual issues with the car, like drivetrain, nothing. Like, this thing has been extremely reliable, and we haven't done, you know, any extra maintenance or anything like that to the car. So whatever Hyundai provides is what we service the car with. Like, I think it's a 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty, free service every 6,000 miles or so. And yeah, I mean, we've just been using that. Haven't had any additional service done. Yeah, it's been great. Like, basically we've spent $0 in terms of service on this car. Obviously, you know, once that warranty is up, we'll be paying for oil changes, tire rotations, and all that stuff out of pocket, and that'll cost a little bit of money, but nothing compared to what I've already paid in the G80, because I get that serviced every 5,000 miles, and also the warranty is kind of trash on that car. Like, you only get oil change, tire rotation every 10K miles, whereas this is like every 6,000 miles. So yeah, I don't know what they're doing over there, but yeah, I've spent more in service on that car than I have in this car, so that's a good thing. So yeah, if you are, you know, expecting or trying to save money, I guess, in terms of servicing your vehicle, if you do get, I guess it probably like CPO or brand new, you do get like that warranty program, which is great. So you won't be paying for services out of pocket for at least like the first few years. Besides that, like, even the cost of maintenance, like gas, is pretty good on gas, but the tires, like, we have had the same tires on this car since we purchased the car, which is 2.5 years now, and it's actually now time to change the tires, so we'll be doing that sometime soon. But yeah, I mean, I've been pretty aggressive with this car in the canyons, and the fact that I'm just now required to change the tires is kind of crazy, considering with the G80 I just put on tires on that car about 7 or 8 months ago, and I already need a new set of tires. And I'm running PS4Ss on the G80. This car is also running PS4Ss, but it is lasting a lot longer. So yeah, I mean, this car is honestly such a great balance for performance and budget. Like, this thing is awesome. Literally, like, if it weren't for the slight creaks and rattles in this car, this would be like perfect. Like a perfect daily driver that you can also have fun with. yeah, I mean, like I said, we've had a blast in this car. I've definitely had a blast in this car. Looks good, sounds good stock. Like, obviously you can make more power and stuff if you want to, and if you tune the car, you're gonna make, you know, obviously have probably some reliability issues, but as it is, like, this is a great performing car and it's super fun, budget friendly as well. So yeah, I mean, 2.5 years in, 25,000 miles, and we are very, very happy with the car. And I don't think we'll be getting rid of this car anytime soon. So basically what I'm trying to say is, this is an awesome car. And if you all are considering picking up an Elantra N, or any of the N cars that are coming out, maybe the Ioniq N or Kona N or whatever, like, it's great, it's fun, reliable. We haven't had any issues, so I don't think that you all will either. At this price point, I really think that this is an unbeatable car for its segment. Like, you really just can't beat that price for what you get. So yeah, that's basically my, you know, 25,000, 2.5 year review. Great car. Elantra N is an amazing car. And if you all are interested in buying one of these, I would highly recommend it. It's super fun for what it is. And I keep reiterating this, but that price point is unbeatable. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.